Guilford County students have been remote learning for the past several weeks now, and the governor has said elementary school students can return to in-person learning at the district's discretion. The school board meets Thursday to talk that all over, but we know you have questions even before the meeting, and we are getting answers right now from Guilford County school leaders. We want you to text your questions. The number is 336-379-5775. Remember, this is text only with your questions. You can't call these questions in. All right, with us right now, Guilford County Schools Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jamie King, Chief Academic Officer Dr. Whitney Oakley, and Chief Operations Officer Angie Henry are joining us. All right, let's get started. The first question is, why is it just elementary school students? Why can't the middle and high school students also go back?
Sure. So I'll start with that one. The main reason behind bringing our youngest students back first has several layers to that. The first is we know that our youngest students are still learning foundational skills. They don't yet know how to read. They don't have basic math and counting skills. They haven't learned how to hold a pair of scissors. So there's simply some foundational skills that our older students do have that our youngest students have not yet had the opportunity to master. We also know from all the research nationally and internationally that our youngest students face the greatest learning loss during school closure. We know that some students may not recover from this learning loss. We also know that finding childcare for our youngest students presents a challenge for our families. We also know that during the governor's order, the Plan A was presented only for our elementary students, which means we still have to follow the social distancing guidelines for our middle and high schools, which presents some staffing and some building capacity challenges. So those are the reasons that we're starting with a gradual reentry with our youngest students.
All right, and this is a follow-up question. How is the district going to manage all elementary school students going back at the same time? What does it look like?
Sure. So we've already set up model classrooms, so our schools know how to set up their classrooms to have social distancing in their classrooms, so that all of our students are 6 feet apart and our teachers have sufficient space in the classroom. We do know that we've got schools will have multiple entrances for car riders, bus riders, so that they can do the health screenings before the students get in the building. We've got stickers on the floor, so we know which direction students need to walk. We've worked hard to get our buildings ready to welcome our students back.
It's also important to know that not all students are returning at the same time. So in our elementary school, the plan that the board will be looking at and voting on this Thursday, September 24th, includes our pre-K and K students voluntarily returning, followed by our pre-K, K first and second grade students. Then the following week, adding in grades 3 and 5. So we have a phased in approach both at the elementary and middle levels in the plan that's going to the board. All of the large districts and health guidance says that districts should work on a gradual reentry plan. And so that's what we've done in collaboration with public health officials.
This is a follow-up text. They're talking about how other districts that have gone back into in-person learning have COVID cases. Does the district plan to post an essential location, like a website perhaps, where there's a positive case at a school to get the information out quickly?
Sure. We do have a public dashboard that will launch once students are in buildings, and that dashboard will house data that's live and to present transparency of any positive cases that are out there. We'll also follow our normal communication protocols when we have an incident that's school specific or classroom specific.
This is kind of a follow-up on what you had said, but it says, does my elementary student have to go back if there's a high risk in our family?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So that's really part of the purpose of having the virtual academy, is to allow parents an option. And so if you feel like your child, one, is just blossoming and blooming in this virtual remote learning, you can enroll them in the virtual academy. Or if your child is high risk, or if you yourself are high risk and are worried about your child bringing something home, we have the virtual academy. So that enrollment stays open until after the board meeting. So it'll be open until Friday at 5 o'clock. that parents can make that choice if they choose to if they want to enroll their child in the virtual academy.
So Virtual Academy, it has now been extended to that Friday after that Thursday Guilford County School Board meeting. This is a follow-up text to that. If students transition to the Virtual Academy, will the Academy offer the same classes that students are currently enrolled in at their home school?
So yes, especially except for some specialized magnet programs, and our parents of those specialized magnet programs have that information. But for our core classes, and our elective classes, and our advanced placement classes, those are all available through the Virtual Academy option.
This is a couple-part question. This person says, if elementary schools are going back full-time at full capacity, when is deep cleaning going to take place?
So we'll be cleaning every evening once students and staff leave the building, and then on the Friday evenings and over the weekend we'll be doing the deep cleaning so that the buildings will be ready for students to come back on Mondays.
And then the next part of this, it says, what type of ventilation systems are in place to keep the students healthy?
So we've got a wide variety of heating and air systems in our schools at a variety of ages. So, you know, we don't have one consistent system that is in all of our schools. However, in all of the systems where we're able to, we are opening the fresh air vents to be sure that we're bringing in as much fresh air as possible, controlling for humidity. We are also working to repair all of the windows in our buildings that were designed to open so that they can open and we'll be able to bring fresh air into the buildings.
All right, this person is saying, what about school that has 5 through 8 grades only? Will only the 5th graders go back?
So no, when we're working on the schedules, we're working on schedules so that, you know, our plan calls for elementary school students to be back and for middle school students to be back. So we're working on schedules for those buildings. We've got several of those where we've got elementary school students and middle school students in both in the same building. So we're working on those schedules, but they both will be back.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. You can continue to ask your text question. The number's right there at the bottom of the screen, 336-379-5775. I know one of the first questions we'll ask when we come back is what procedures are staff doing to take student temperatures? We're going to be talking about that. Make sure you get your question answered.